This tutorial is about using the polar array identified over within the Modify section of your ribbon, okay, which is pretty much the same thing as a circular pattern. So when you think of polar array, think of a circular pattern, okay, taking some base feature, base part, and spinning it around an axis. So, first thing we need though is some actual line, whatever, that we're going to make a pattern out of. Okay, so I'm actually going to place, like you as well, to create a couple layers. Actually, just one is fine for this. I'll do two just for the sake. Do it in red. Do one more in green. Next tutorial. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a line. And now this is going to mimic, you'll see that I'm doing this in order to show you how to, in a much quicker way, use the concentric circle method. I'm not going to go into detail about how to do the concentric circle method within this tutorial, but just give you the basics of how to use the polar array in order to save yourself some steps and make this job a lot easier. So what I have to do is make my first line and make it in red. So I'm going to choose red, make a line, a certain distance. Now depending on what I want, okay, depending on how high this line needs to go, just click at a certain point. All right, so now what I have is I have a line, okay, a certain distance, and this other feature. Within making your ellipse, using the concentric circle method, you do have a major axis and a minor axis, one being smaller than the other, identifying the different parts of this ellipse. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on polar array, again creating a circular pattern around an axis of rotation. I'm going to choose the part that I want. Okay, I'm going to make the object that I want to make a pattern of is going to be my red line. So I click on that. That's the only thing I want to make a pattern of. And I right click. Specify center point of array. Now this is around which I'm going to be spinning this red line. Okay, my axis of rotation is going to be this point. Notice how automatically it creates a number of items. My first one being also included. And notice your items 6, number between. Okay, so 60 degrees is what it provides for me, and I'm filling 360 degrees. So between these two, 6 and 36, 360, it must be that between each one of these I have 60 degrees. Now instead, I know in this case, simply, I need 12 of these instances, okay, as stated in my concentric circle method, but depending on what you're doing, you could alter the number that you need. So I put in 12, and it will automatically, click on there, adjust. Notice how also, because I have 12, it changed the number of degrees in between each one of them. So for the sake of this polar array tutorial, that's as far as we're going. Okay, there's this connection. Okay, I've identified what it was initially as my object, identified how many items, and the number of degrees around which I want to fill. Okay, so again, I could do it between 90 degrees. That of course would change the distance between each one of these. I could also change any one of these and it will have some effect on this outcome. Alright, so what I'd like you to do now is go ahead and create this basic polar array. Doesn't really matter the lengths of the major and minor axes, this initial white set of lines, but I would like you to create 12 of them around 360 degrees. Okay, if you have any questions, good luck.